It's like we can see that you're dealing with some limiting belief here, and that is leading to limiting actions and limiting thoughts and self-sabotage. And then you wonder why most artists don't make it, and they say the industry is unfair.
Ever feel like your industry is completely rigged against you and you have to compromise who you are just to thrive? The truth is, God created your creativity and the laws that govern real success. You were never meant to play by a broken system. Did you know that we have a free community of spirit-led leaders just like you? Powerhouse men and women who are digging deep into these exact kingdom principles so they can lead with authentic authority. Head over to authenticvoiceleadership.com right now and join the conversation, connect with like-minded leaders, and grab all the exclusive resources and goodies from today's experts. The founders of the Anthem Co, Joey and Jason, are on a massive mission to empower independent artists, disrupt the industry, and build a sustainable movement rooted in community and kingdom mindset. Let's find out how to step out of the broken rules and into true alignment. I am so excited to have Jason and Joey in the studio today from the Anthem Co. Jason and Joey, would you like to introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your mission and your vision and who you are?
I'll go for it.
I'm Jason. Hello. This guy right here?
And I'm Joey.
That's Joey. Oh, man, what do we want to get into here? Yeah, we're a music company. We've run for about 6 years now. And, our goal is to help artists grow. That's really our tagline. We help artists grow. But as of recently, it's kind of switched more to something like we want to make the industry more fair, make the music industry more fair for independent artists. Hence the network, and we can get into all that other stuff that we're up to. But that's really I would say our main mission.
Mm-hmm.
Apart from that, we're just music nerds, done music our whole lives, love playing it, love making it, love doing it. So this made a lot of sense.
We're artists, and we will always be artists. And a lot of the work that we do is more on the business side now, just because of the lack of knowledge and the lack of opportunity that artists are taking advantage of. We're here to distill some of that difficult information for artists and bring artists together.
I love that. It's such a cool mission. So the kingdom is really upside down from this world. And in the world, it's like competition and who can get there first. But in the kingdom, we support each other and we bring each other together. And I love how you guys are doing this work. And so Life Laid Down, that's our band. We hired you guys to do Adoration song, and our song just took off with you guys. And so we've had such a great experience working with your company. And now you have the network. Can you talk about your network?
Oh, now we're getting into it.
Yeah, just jump right in, right?
Yeah. I can lead into it for a couple minutes here. Yeah, it's something called the Anthem Network. And this was actually an idea that we had, 5-6 years ago? Like when we were getting started. So Joey and I, we met at music school, a private Christian university outside of Chicago, Illinois, called Judson University. And we actually both started as architecture majors. And then we both switched to music business and entrepreneurship and finished out with that. And in that process, we have always geeked out over music and music education. And we went through a program that, listen, I'm glad we did go through it. Otherwise, we wouldn't exist here today. This is where we met and everything. And all this began. But the music education, it was so expensive and the information was outdated. And we both ended up learning more and growing more outside of school when we were just pushed into the deep end and forced to swim and figure stuff out. And we're like, well, wait, this is what the music industry is? I had no idea. Oh my gosh, okay, this is a lot harder. There's a lot of potholes that we keep running into and mistakes that we're making. And when we inevitably started the company, one of our goals was eventually man, how cool would it be to just redo the music education space somehow, almost bulldoze the thing and start over, because there's a lot of problems with it. And we're like, man, that was a lot of money to spend on a degree that we're still paying back, and it didn't really yield what we thought it would yield. And we're like, is there a better way to do that?
Yeah. And we're teachers by heart. Before we even went to school for music, we were teaching guitar lessons and piano lessons.
Yeah.
And we love helping people break through and shortcut and level up faster than we ever did with a lot of the things that we had to go through. And so it's just been compounding with the more we've become involved in the music industry. We were artists before this, trying to get signed to record deals with in the Christian space. So we got a front row seat to all of that and how the traditional record label kind of operates and management. And now we're just every level that we hit, we're still teachers at heart. So we're taking all the information that we've taken in and we're always trying to shortcut that for other people so that they can stand on top of our experience and hopefully avoid a lot of the pain that we've gone through.
That's awesome that this is what you guys are doing. So can you give us a little bit of that backstory? It's always interesting to hear all of the ins and outs of the music industry and what people go through.
It's funny because every one of your questions, we could unpack this for like an hour in and of itself. Like every one of these things is like, we can go so deep into this. Long story short, so we're a band called Mass Anthem. So it's a duo now, Joey and myself. And that is really kind of where everything began. So in 2020, it was actually a four-piece. So there were four of us in the group. We were both living up in, you were in Illinois, I was in Wisconsin, and the other guys were here in Nashville. So we were always driving back and forth from the upper Midwest to here, like 10, 11-hour trips. I mean, we got to the point where we were doing a lot of those in my 2006, 2002 blue Subaru, just like rusted out. To give some idea of like what those trips were like, the engine was so loud and there were like air gaps in the seals and everything. So like the car was just so loud and the air conditioning tended to not work during the summer when it was the hottest.
My goodness.
So we were doing the indie artist thing like from the beginning. So yeah, we were in his car and a lot of the trips were during the summer. Like I said, like this was in between school as well.
Yeah.
So we were just wrapping up school in like 2019. And so the summers were like grind time for us as a band. And we would drive down 11 hours to Nashville in the summer, and his car had no AC in it.
At one point, he would wear a swimsuit because he knew he was going to get so sweaty.
I would wear tank tops,
You packed a cooler with frozen water bottles that you could put on yourself.
And so, like, I would like just hold the water bottles on my lap, and then it'd melt a little bit, and then I'd get to drink them, and then that was the joy of driving 11 hours.
Leslie, the kicker of this was the engine was so loud, but the car was so hot. So there was this trade-off where like, okay, we can only talk when the windows are up because otherwise it hurts. Like our voices hurt because we have to like scream. But if we put the windows down on the highway, it's crazy loud, but the air feels good. So we had to play this game of, okay, windows are going down now. And then they go back up and then we brainstorm and talk about big ideas. And that is where the Anthem Co was born. That is in that car. That is the origin of the Anthem Co, which is pretty funny.
Yeah.
That's
Humble
amazing.
beginnings. Yeah. But to keep that story going, so we did that long enough. 2020, we came down to Nashville. We were doing showcases, building our shows, putting all that together. And there were a handful of like major Christian labels that I'm trying to get signed with. Long story short, we were kind of being led on for a few years with those conversations. Call it like label purgatory, record label purgatory, where you're just like kind of stuck. It's not a yes, it's not a no. You're just kind of there. And after that showcase, we basically got no's from all of them in like the same week. And then we were like, nope, it's fine. We're gonna go do it ourselves. Like we're gonna go book 100 show this year's ourselves. I had a booking background and like we had done a lot of this stuff and figured this out. So we're like, okay, fine, we'll just book 100 shows this year ourselves. We'll do it ourselves. It's fine. And then COVID hit like 2 weeks later.
Yeah.
We got 2 shows in.
And how much time did we spend building that new show?
We spent like a week or 2 of like rehearsals. Like we had the whole thing dialed in.
It was it was our best show yet, and we got to play it twice.
Oh my goodness. Did you ever finish it after the COVID thing went off? Did you do it online at all?
No.
Well, what ended up happening shortly after that was 2 of the guys, the original members, wanted to leave. Like they were so broken by the whole label thing and like getting
COVID
like,
and
the
all
rejection
the shows,
and like they were just tired and done.
Yeah.
And so they basically came to us and they were like, we're out. We're like, oh shoot. What do we do with We're like, what do we do with all this music that we released? Because at that point, a little bit of backstory about the streaming numbers, we're at 200,000 monthly listeners before COVID, which is really high.
For independents, that's really good on Spotify.
It's really high for independent artists. And then we released kind of a pop mainstream where it was one of those, my Christian pop people that are listening to this, it was a Christian if you know us personally, but it was like kind of mainstream where it was like just feel good music. So like you could look at it both ways. And we released those before COVID, and those landed 2 really big Spotify playlists. We blew up to 750,000 monthly listeners off of 2 songs, and we were on those for like a year leading into COVID.
But it was mainstream playlists, which is really interesting.
Nice.
But what ended up happening was we all started getting used to having 750,000 monthly listeners, but we were basically living off of one playlist, 1 or 2 playlists that was generating all of that. And then once COVID hit, that was another layer to this story of why they were like, when we basically got dropped from those playlists, which is inevitable for editorials.
Yeah, it was dropped from the playlist, told no from the labels, COVID hit.
And
bam, bam, bam. It was
that just like wiped half the band out. So we basically dropped back down to 200,000 monthly listeners, which after sitting at 750,000, you get used to that pretty quick over the course of a year. And so we believe that there was still life in the brand, in Mass Anthem. And so that was right at the same time when we were starting the Anthem company.
Yeah, pretty much right at the same time.
So the Anthem Co stemmed off of Mass Anthem, the band, the artist. And then it just so happened that they shifted away and we took full ownership of the band, and now we had the band and the Anthem Co side by side, and we're like, okay, what do we
do with this thing?
What do we do with this now?
We're like, we know there is value here. We know we can do something great with this, but we had no idea what it was. And we're like, nope, we're just going to like trust that this is going to turn into something great. We just don't know what it is.
And so for a lot of artists, 2020 leaves them at a crossroads with a choice, because a lot of artists, it forced them to undo everything that they have been doing, especially if it's been on the road or traveling. We had to rethink. So you either kind of quit and chill during COVID, or you can redirect your attention away. For us, it was away from touring and away from shows. And we're like, I wonder if we could figure out this marketing thing. Like, how do we grow our own Spotify playlist? We see people, like, we've always been pitching to playlists and trying to land them. We're like, I feel like we're seeing individual people figuring out how to do this stuff. Is there a way to do that?
And at that time, Spotify wasn't what it is like today. It's like fast forward like 6 years. Back then, it still was like, what is this? What is this Spotify thing? It seems like this might become a thing. And there were a few people, especially in the Christian music space, that had some big playlists. And we're like, that would be so cool if we had some big playlists. How do we do that? Well, yeah, COVID gave us the time, because we're like, okay, shows are gone. We made a worship album called Waymaker Worship. And we made that one from 3 different states. Never got together. We just, I sat down and started arranging stuff on piano, sending it off to the guys that had vocals. Joey would tag on his guitar parts. We'd send it to our producer in a different state. And like, we just released it. And when the band then split, Joey and I were sitting there. We're like, we should learn this marketing thing. How do we like grow on Spotify? Wouldn't that be cool? So we dedicated our whole basically COVID window,
a year and a half worth of just focusing on how to run ads.
Only Spotify, by the way. It's like
just for
that
Spotify.
Is all
just Spotify
we focused on. Like we put tunnel vision goggles on and said, we're going to crack Spotify.
And we still believe that too. We tell a lot of artists to focus on Spotify first, because it helps to obsess over that one thing at a time. But 2, Spotify is like the only platform, when you compare it to the other ones, where the data is so readily available to you to see whether your ads are working in real time.
Oh, that's a good point. I love that. I want to come back to what you said. Wouldn't it be cool if we took this time and did this with it? And so I think what you did in taking a setback and making it a positive direction, and the whole premise of wouldn't it be cool to expand curiosity, and what were you thinking when you started exploring that? And you're like, wouldn't it be cool? And then the next step, what did that look like?
Terror, fear,
it was
worry.
That's so true.
Doubt.
That's so real.
Fear, FUD is what they call that. Fear, uncertainty, doubt.
Yeah.
All of that.
It was a year and a half of that. And that's one thing that we tell artists in the network, the Anthem network, is that like it takes time to figure stuff out. Like, you have to give it space. We've had conversations within the network where there are people like, okay, I'm only going to give this a year, and then I'm going to have to like redo everything or like quit or whatever.
Reassess. Yep.
Or we're like, oh man, like the music industry is everything's so delayed for the work that you do. It's like you got to give yourself like 3 to 5 years before you make any sort of changes.
Let me say this.
That's good.
The people that we are today, the versions of ourselves that we are today, are vastly upgraded, improved from the versions that we were 6 years ago. Like, we wouldn't recognize the versions of ourselves, especially internally when we talk mindsets and programming and beliefs and business knowledge, and we didn't know anything. We were as green as the grass outside. Like, we knew nothing about anything, and it was so much risk starting a new thing. Like, oh, let's start a business. Okay, how do we do that? What's an LLC? We're talking to the very beginning. Like, we know nothing, and there's just so many limiting beliefs and things. You just don't know what you don't know early on, and we had to hit all of the mistakes and trial by error. We kind of just like started running and we just rolled down the hill,
Oh my goodness.
But that process, I guess, is kind of like trial by fire, though. It's like, if you're not going to like, you just kind of have to start and you have to do it. And I think that's probably one of the things we're really good at is we'll push ourselves into the deep end and make ourselves figure out how to swim.
And you have to like stay naive in everything that you do. You have to like be blissfully unaware of how much work it's going to take. It's funny because we can artificially do that now for anything new that we do with this company. We're like,
trick ourselves.
We can trick ourselves, but we were just very naive to it. And we're like, we're going to figure out Facebook ads and we're going to figure out how to grow playlists. Great. That was like a year and a half and hundreds, thousands of dollars at that point that we had to spend in order to get enough information back to know if what we were doing is right.
And here's the kicker, Leslie, because we'll tie this in a full circle here when it comes to like the Anthem Network, but we have literally been in every artist's shoes that comes to us and wants to level up and learn how to grow their music and take their voice and their mission, the thing that they want to bring to the world, and do it, but they feel like they are literally at zero, like they haven't started yet. We've been there, and when we started this company, we didn't have any money.
Yeah.
We didn't have any funding for it. It was the riskiest thing ever. We were both worship leaders and directors at our own churches, also on the side teaching music lessons, also on the side touring when it's available, also by night trying to figure this company out and like dream really big of like, what could this become? Like, what could we do with this? So like that fear, when we talk to artists now who are in the network at that stage, it's like, guys, I promise you it can work, but you are going to have to be willing to change at a deep level that you may not be prepared for right now. And it's going to be wildly uncomfortable.
Yes. Yes. I like to look at this like what I've been thinking, even business in general is like this, right? We see the glamorous and we see the results, but we don't see the behind the scenes. We don't see the day to day of other people and what they're going through in the moment by moment. And I think of like a farmer who's going to go out and plant a new garden and they've got everything planned out. They're going to grow tomatoes and cucumbers and whatever. And they go out there and it's just a grassy plot of land. It's not been pre-cultivated. It's nothing out there but this grassy. That's how green, like when we start, that's how it feels. But what we have to remember is that the farmer can't just go and throw the seeds on the grass and expect to get a garden.
Nope.
There's steps in place that are all very hard. First, you got to till the ground. If the ground is hard, seeds aren't going to go into the soil. Once you till the ground, you got to fertilize it, pull the weeds, keep making sure it's soft and ready. Once the soil is ready, you put the seeds in it. And then you water it and not know what's going on under the ground. You have no control over that.
You got to trust.
Yes. And so I think about when we think where we think we should be versus where we are or what we're doing and what we want to see. It's like a farmer going out and yelling at the ground for not having fruit yet when they just planted it. And so it makes total sense that you say 3 to 5 years for really seeing the actual results coming forth that you were actually hoping for.
Yeah.
but all the years of planting and nurturing and caring for the sprouts that come up, the little things that show proof of progress, even if
Yeah.
it doesn't feel like progress.
Yeah.
The little wins.
And
Yeah.
that's a great picture of exactly what we tell artists in the Anthem Network. You're in charge of controlling the inputs to what you do. It's the day-to-day. It's changing your behavior, changing your habits. It could, for example, look like I'm going to post once a day for a year. Those are the things that you control. You can control the inputs. You cannot control the outputs, all of the things on the other side of it. You have to let go.
Yeah.
So that
Yes.
is what we're always trying to do, is redirect people's attention to what can they do today to change the outcome 5-10 years from now.
That's so good. That reminds me of the circle of control. Have you heard of the circle of control?
I've heard
It's
of the
what you're
circle
talking
of
about.
fifths, if we're getting into
Cir-
music
I've heard
theory.
of
Well, we're going to go
circle
into
of
the
life.
circle of fifths, the circle of life. It's all in
Yes.
the circle of
The
control.
the Lion King, yes, the circle of life. There's another one.
Yes. So the center of the circle is what you have control over. It's your thoughts, your actions, the things that you can do from day to day. Everything outside of those things, your thoughts and your actions basically is outside of your circle of control. And so it's either in somebody else's circle of control, which makes it not your business, or God's circle of control, which makes it not your business. And so
That's
you
good.
keep your business in the circle of control and let God do his business and trust him to do it, because he's the creator of the universe. He knows what he's doing. And that could be the hardest thing to do.
Oh, 100%. And if we even tie that back into what I briefly mentioned when we talk about limiting beliefs
Yes.
and programming, I won't derail us too much here. Every time I start talking about this, I geek out over it a little bit. But
Fellow geek.
fellow geek, fantastic.
Yes,
But
absolutely.
so I nerd out over like studying how the brain works and the different brainwave states, and how you can quite literally get programmed into mindsets and beliefs that are very detrimental.
Yes.
And you will not even know that they are operating behind the scenes, at a very deep core level. Man, part of this process is uncovering that. And, even like when I talk about like the fear, the worry early on that I know I was experiencing when we started this company, it's like, where was all that stemming from? There's a lot going on behind the scenes. Now we're starting to slowly get into that with other artists, because we're recognizing if you aren't aware of the programming, the ways that you're operating internally, you might say that you want this thing. You might say you want to be a full-time artist, but you have a great fear of being seen and heard.
Yes.
And you're going to find a way to sabotage the thing that you say you consciously want, whether you do or not. It's like you will self-sabotage that thing. And, even one thing that I've recognized is like when you talk about staying in that circle of like focusing on your thing, and a lot of programming's running of like looking outside of me and trying to find the thing outside of me. It's not working. It's not working. It's not working. Why aren't the seeds growing? Like we've been doing it.
Yes.
It's like, it's really difficult to succeed in that mindset.
Yes. So one of the things that I do with this is like looking back and finding that testimony, finding those proofs of progress. Because when you geek out about the brain, we know neurologically that these pathways are created based on thought patterns, and our brain scans to reinforce that is our truth.
Yes, it looks for proof in our environment of
looks
whatever
for
the
proof.
belief it is, whether it's a good or a bad one. Yeah.
Yes. And so when we say we want this, but we believe this over here, then our brain is looking for proof that what we don't want is what's true, and what we do want is unobtainable. So what we have to do is become, like you said, become aware. And so part of the framework that I work under is awareness, action, alignment. You can't take action truly unless you're aware. So taking time to be aware is that first step. And then the action creates alignment. So that's that step-by-step obedience with the Lord.
Yeah.
And sometimes it is just the one step in front of you. And when you're looking at rewiring the brain and getting it to that neuroplastic state of rewiring and relearning, we have to train ourselves to look for progress.
Yes. I'm so glad you said this. I don't know how much we've talked about this too, but I have to catch myself these days, because we're quite literally now with this company, like we're living in a reality that we were dreaming about 6 years ago, and we had no path to get here. And I still have to like catch myself every now and then and be like, okay, bro, I know there's a lot going on, and I know that the bigger things get and the more successful things get, the more problems can arise and the more like you have to do and work. It's like, you got to pinch yourself every now and then, be like, okay, nope, let's review all the things that are going great right now and that I'm really grateful for. And you're right. It's like reminding your brain to start searching for that stuff in your reality as opposed to looking for the obstacles. Oh, more obstacles. Because that's another internal thing is like, if you're always just looking for obstacles, you're going to keep finding obstacles.
Yes.
There's plenty of obstacles. But if you can start looking for the successes and the things to express gratitude, it's like, oh my goodness, even this little thing, right? I can't believe I forgot to like be grateful for that.
Yes.
Then you start to look for more of that.
Right. And then you can start to believe that this over here that you want is obtainable.
Yeah.
Because you're seeing the progress.
100%.
You're acknowledging the progress.
Yeah.
That's why gratitude journaling is so effective. And you know, I don't subscribe to like the words, the secret and all of those. I believe that the frequency of words is real, and God just really created this frequency that we operate under energetically.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's the name it and claim it. I think it is the energetics of training our brain. It's the spiritual aspect and the actual neurological aspect are both true. And so affirmations with no belief is not going to get you anywhere.
Can I speak to that a second? Because that's interesting. So yeah, I'm very much in alignment with what you're saying here. And it's almost like if you're, let's say, just to use an extreme example, you are living on the side of the road, but you want to affirm that you are living in a mansion, $1 million mansion, and you don't have to worry about money. That is a big jump. There may need to be 10 steps in between that you need to realistically do to get there, even if you might be impatient, because again, that's another thing that's trained into you. Like, I want the thing now. I want the thing now. I'm just going to speak the big thing now and have the big thing now. Well, brother, sister, realistically, you don't believe you can do it. But now the question is, if we work 10 steps back, what is the next level up from where you currently are that you do believe you can get to? Start speaking some life into that thing and put some intention and focus into that thing. Still have your vision for the big thing. Like we've always dreamt so big with the company that it's terrifying and like what we want to do with this. And it even still is a little to this day. But then what we've been pretty good at is working backwards and be like, okay, if that is actually our long-term vision, if we break that down into steps, what's the next step that we can actually fully believe in?
Yes.
Because then we can actually put some inspired action behind that thing and actually, you don't get there, as opposed to just, no, I'm just going to name it and claim it and I'm a billionaire. It's like, you got a few steps.
Yes.
To do yet.
And there's merit to having the big vision and painting the picture and doing the vision board. There's merit to that because it gives you hope for working through stuff, or even like God gives you visions for things and it helps to define where you want to go. But like you said, if you can start with like the next step and creating a vision for the day, then living out your best day, because really today is all we have. So what does today look like that's going to, one, move the dial towards the bigger picture, but also help us to be in the moment and enjoy what God has for us right here, right now? Because if we're always living in the past or we're always living in the future, where are we? We're caught between two worlds, and then that's where anxiety lives.
And for us, that's the work that needs to be done for artists, specifically the way that creatives are wired. And we were like this when we first started out. Thankfully, we had a mentor that was further ahead of us. He sat us down. He helped us with a lot of the setup process for the whole company. But he basically sat down with us and he's like, you guys need to think way bigger than you are right now.
Because he sat down and was like, what's your vision? And we told him, we're like, oh, we're going to be a marketing company.
We're just 10 times bigger than
you guys got to go bigger.
And so like, that's now what we're trying to do for artists. Because for us, when we first started out, we were thinking this far ahead in front of our faces. And we were looking at, for example, our Spotify monthly listeners. If our Spotify monthly listeners goes down by 10%,
a little bit,
day's over, we're just going to
throw in the towel. I'm really pissed.
I'm not feeling it.
This is stupid.
Yeah, it's like we let all of those little things affect us like in the moment, and it really like sets you back by a lot. And he challenged us to think 10 steps ahead and just aim for something that's 10 times bigger than what you're trying to do, because that'll reshape all of your roadmap back to the beginning, back to where you are in the present.
And a really good thing that we bring up a lot is reminding artists, hey, if you shoot for the moon and miss, you land on the stars.
Yes.
If you're just aiming for a small goal, you have to hit the thing 100% just to get the small goal. You didn't even hit that. As
Right.
opposed to, man, how do we dream and envision our career going 10 times bigger with our impact in the world so that even if we miss that, we're still going to be way further along than had we dreamt small. And
Yes.
our mentor was so good at that. The layout, like the vision that he helped us create, is actually the thing that we're stepping into now, 6 years later, which is really cool. Just like, okay, there is a time delay for you to catch up and become the men, the women that are fully capable of doing the thing.
Yes.
He's got a little whiteboard that he drew on he's going to gift that to us someday. We're going to like hang it on the wall. Yeah. Yeah. Pretty cool.
So one of the things that we're really passionate about is this type of thing. We're talking about business. We're passionate about business and we're also artists, but a lot of times those two worlds, artists don't connect the two. And so a lot of the times what we're doing, especially with the network, is how do we distill all of the information that's working for entrepreneurs in the business world, that's generalized knowledge, and then distill it down to where creatives can understand and apply that exact information to skyrocket their career. Because a lot of them, going back to the limiting beliefs in their mindset, they don't think of themselves as the boss of their career, or they don't think of themselves as an entrepreneur. So
CEO.
Or a CEO
Yeah.
of their own thing.
Yeah.
And so I think that's the work that's worth doing, and it's really fun doing that.
That's really great that you are bridging the gap for artists, because I think even for us, my husband's all artist, and I'm kind of on the line of business and artist, right? Because I've grew up in an entrepreneurial home, and so I was always encouraged to test out business and things like that. So that was really a gift to me growing up and learning how to do those things. But even with that background, connecting it to what to actually do to make your music go, I thought it's all luck. It's all luck. Maybe somebody just needs to hear me at karaoke one night rather than there actually being tangible steps to do that pushes through that progress. So I have this dream over here, but no idea how to get there. And what do you normally tell the artists when you're just getting started out? Like, they don't know about business. They don't know the steps they need to take. What's an encouraging thing that you can say to them to start taking those steps?
Well, this goes along with what we were talking about. And in the business world, we talk about what is your 10-year plan? What is your 20-year plan? And that doesn't fly very well with creatives. Their eyes start to glaze over and they're like,
you get anxious. Anxiety kicks in. You're like, what?
And
20 years?
The way that we kind of phrase it is like, if we were to tell a story, a fairy tale story, what would be the happily ever after? What would your life look like? Can you picture it? And we challenge people to write it out. Like, what does your day-to-day look like? Are you touring on it? Because success is such a generalized blanket statement in music.
Yes.
Every single artist needs to define what success is to them, because somebody who's touring 24/7 on the road and living out of gas stations and showering and all of that is a very different version of success for somebody who's versus staying at home and making all their money off of streaming and their social medias. Those are two very different paths. And what we try to do is try to define your ending of the whole story and work your way backward as best as you can, because that'll really reshape what you focus on now, whether that is streaming or getting on the road more, because that has a huge effect on your trajectory.
I have two thoughts on that. Two quick things to interject there. Getting so clear on your why is so powerful. My firm belief is that if you have a why that is so big and strong and powerful and you're passionate about it, it will always cast a shadow on whatever doubt or obstacle or thing comes up that tries to convince you that it's not for you, that it's not meant for you. So what we've realized in the last few months, even with the network, is we're adding a spot to the curriculum now where it's like, but even before we start teaching you all this stuff, guys, because we can show you the right steps that we have taken to master Spotify, to master marketing, to master your career, to master business, put it all together. But it is not necessarily an easy road.
Right.
And things are going to come up. You will be tested in a way that if you don't have a firm grasp on why you are doing this, your mission, your voice, we work with artists, a lot of artists in Christian music. We also work with artists outside of Christian music. whatever your mission is, guys, if you have something in a message, like you got to get so clear on this thing that you will not give in when you get tested. And then the other aspect is we kind of treat this journey like a GPS. It's like most artists, we've jumped on hundreds of calls one-on-one over the years with artists. Like in the last 6 years, we've run over 1,000 marketing campaigns for other artists, jumped on hundreds of calls and done all this stuff. And you start to see all the same patterns that everybody is going through, no matter what their genre, no matter what they're doing in their career. It's the same stuff. And it's like, we would hop on calls and like, so where are you currently at? It's like, oh, okay, let's figure out where we currently are. And then it's like, okay, now what do you actually want? It's like, well, and then they stumble over it because they haven't actually thought through it and got clear on it. It's like, guys, you can't hit the dartboard if you can't see the dartboard. We can't even start throwing darts because they're all going to miss. You can't see it. And it's like, the GPS doesn't work if we don't get very clear and realistic on where we currently are today and get very clear on where we are headed.
Yes.
If one of those things is off, it doesn't work very well.
Yes. And I want to speak to that too, because one of the things that we talk about in our business area is, what is the tragedy if you don't do what you're called to do? So you have your why, but there needs to be a tragedy attached to it. So if you don't do it, it compels you to move past the hard, because this is not just for you. This is for all of those that you serve. And being in Christian music, it can be so easy to get caught up with how many streams am I getting? What am I getting out there? More people, more people. But Jesus stopped for the one. And wouldn't it be tragic if that person in front of you didn't get to hear the message that they needed to hear that God asked you to give them? And that can come through your song. That can come from you opening your mouth. And that's why I do what I do, is because it would be such a tragedy if I didn't do what the Lord asked me to do by calling up the voice in others, because I can have an impact with the people that I talk to release their voice, and they can have an impact because they decided to believe in themselves enough to talk to the person in front of them or the masses. What a tragedy it would be if they didn't do that. And getting clear on that and understanding this is beyond you. This is beyond whether you're good enough.
That reminds me of something our mentor Jared, he reminds me of often, is like when I get my head, and it's like, oh, woe is me, whatever, I'm dealing with this is too hard, whatever. He's like, there's a call that I jumped on with him. He's like, bro, quit being selfish.
Yes.
And I was pissed hearing that. I was not happy. And
I can hear him saying that.
He's one of the few humans on this earth that can really call me out on something and just I will let it happen, but I won't enjoy it.
He's like an older brother. That's kind of the age gap that we have.
And he said, bro, you're being selfish. He's like, this isn't for you. You're thinking about yourself right now too much, and you have expectations and everything wrapped around it. It's not for you. Think of all the other people that are going to be impacted by this. And if you keep being selfish, none of that happens. Those people don't get the help you're supposed to bring them.
Yes.
So sometimes that's
how tragic. How tragic would it be if these artists didn't find you?
Yeah, there's the tragedy, So maybe relate that to an artist, for example. You have a mission. You have a voice. You have a calling. You have a message.
Yes.
And if not you, who?
Right.
And if you fail at that, does someone else fill the void, or does that just not happen? Or those people just never served?
And that's the thing with artists. They're always jumping straight to the product, which is their music. They don't think of it as a product, but they're like, okay, I'm just going to record music and put it on social media, put it on streaming, and just kind of hope it does well. But the thing is, everybody does that. The artists that truly win are the ones that tie their whole story to their music and to their brand. And the more they can capture their story, the more people that have gone through that same struggle. A lot of the artists start music because of some maybe issues they had growing up or something like that. And it pushed them into the only way that they can express themselves is through their music. And it's just with that one example, as soon as artists can start looking at their story and capturing that and putting that into their music and into their branding, then it gives people who are similar to them to latch onto versus just recording a song and like putting it out there and hoping people resonate, which it's possible, but you're not going to really build super fans, especially
Right.
early on, if you don't figure out how to capture your story.
And there's one thought
Yes.
to add to that. We work with a lot of like other churches and worship collectives and groups. And one like real talk that we always have to have with them is they're so mission oriented and just focused on the message. They forget about the marketing of the message. And an analogy that we've always used is it's the equivalent to having your team of missionaries that your church is going to get behind, but they can't leave your city. You're like, all right, go get them, guys. And they don't leave your city.
Mm-hmm.
It's like you didn't come up with an effective marketing plan to really support this message and send it across the world.
Yes.
Nobody else is hearing it. Like, that's great. The equivalent is for
Yeah.
music. It's like, okay, great. You guys just put all this work into this great album, and now your church congregation heard it and no one else did because you don't care about the marketing. It's like, well, you defeated the whole purpose, because if like the message is truly what you're trying to share, you should probably figure that part out, you know?
Exactly. And people think marketing is like salesy. Oh, I can't market myself. That would be prideful. Actually, no, it's your responsibility to market your music because God put that in you
Yeah.
to be seeds in the world. And if you don't have the responsibility enough to market your message, then do you have the responsibility enough to carry the message?
Oof.
Yeah.
So it's really important to move past that FUD
Yeah.
Yes.
and get out there and do it anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Do it
Yes.
afraid. Do it anyway.
And
Because
those
somebody needs to hear that message.
yeah. And those are some of the internal battles that specifically Christian entrepreneurs have,
Yes.
Christian artists.
Yes.
It's their view on money, making money, selling people something, sales. It's their view on marketing. There's a lot of self-sabotage with especially Christian artists because they think like having money or tracking money or budgeting is like evil, and marketing is like, and promoting themselves on social media is evil. But like, it's such a self-sabotage and it's an obstacle for a lot of these artists.
Because if
Yeah.
you truly believe that, you will not allow that into your reality. Oh,
Right.
I'm sure. Have you ever heard of the reticular activating system, Leslie? Okay. Well, there's a part of the brain. This is the part of your brain that filters out your reality.
Oh, yes.
You guys, like creation, God's creation here, it's so much bigger and better than anything we could ever grasp, and it's so much more complicated. And we only filter out, I believe the stats are every day there's 11 million bits of information, and our brain, guys, it filters out 40 to 50.
Yes.
That's it. Every day. That's your reality.
Yes.
And if you're holding the belief, here's a great example, that money is evil or that money is bad. And Joey and I have we've had to work through this because we're from blue collar families. We've worked hard. We're raised, I was raised with the mindset of like money's hard to get and it's kind of bad. And if you get too much of it, you're a bad person. But if you just get like just the right amount, you're awesome. But if you don't have that amount, then you're a victim and you get to be angry at everybody else. And it's like, your reticular activating system operates off of your beliefs and it will search out and filter out opportunities into your reality built on that. And like, again, when we say this, creation is so much more magical and powerful than what we realize, but you have to be a co-creator. We are creators made in the image of a creator. Thus, we are co-creating. We have to choose to do some of this stuff, right?
Yes.
We can't be victims to however we were raised and these mindsets. So yeah, when it comes to this whole world of self-sabotage, we're really starting to lean into this and try to find ways to help artists in the network because we can see ourselves 6 years ago in them. And it's like,
That's
we
so
can
good.
see that you're dealing with some limiting belief here, and that is leading to limiting actions and limiting thoughts and self-sabotage. And then you wonder why most artists don't make it, and they say the industry is unfair.
Exactly. I want to just reinforce this by telling you a story really fast so I have been putting some things out there, marketing more and doing partnerships and collaborations more often lately. And I had a response to an email I sent from a lady. And when I prayed about it and I asked, Lord, what does she need right now? He said, send her the song Unhindered Yes, which is a song that came out from a deep season of my life. And that was the first song that we actually wrote. And it was not the first song we released, but it was the first song that we really cultivated in the writing room, and we wrote it in Nashville. And this song is part of something that the Lord just taught me so much through. And when I sent it to her, she said, I didn't know that I could be healed like that. Thank you. So one person to send the song, if you don't have the song, you can't send the song. So when the Lord says, hey, send this song that you wrote because of a season that you came out of and she's in it right now, that gives her hope of the person of Jesus, not hope of the outcome of whatever it is, but hope of the person of Jesus. And so as we, come into the encouragement of using your voice and whatever that looks like, being willing to lay your life down for the cause, for preventing the tragedy. So what do you tell artists when they are just, what if nobody wants to hear my message? That's the story that they're telling themselves. And we have to reroute that story. Somebody needs to hear what you want to say through your song.
Well, I think we talk about it a lot in the marketing side. I think,
Yeah.
and you would relate to this when you're writing a song, you're listening to yourself singing it over and over and over. And then that's before you even get in the studio. That's just you editing your own song. Then you get in the studio and you listen to it another 1,000 times. And then once you go through all your song revisions with the producer, you get ready to upload and you click upload and you're like, oh, good, I can breathe. I got to think about content.
Everybody's sick of this.
And then I'm like, I'm so sick of this song at this point. I just rather have it be out and be done. And then let's say you do a year.
Real.
Let's say you do a year of marketing and you checked off all the boxes on marketing. You're like, okay, now I'm really sick of this song. It's been a year and a half in the process of just this song of marketing, production, writing. And I'm like, I'm so done with it. And then what happens is as artists, we start telling ourselves that everybody's tired of the song.
Yes.
I equals everybody. Yeah.
I'm tired of it. Therefore, I feel like, I posted this song 10 times or whatever on my social media. My followers are going to get annoyed. My fans are going to get annoyed that I'm posting out the same song. And it's like, it's this lie that slowly starts to form where your reality of you being tired of your song is being applied to everybody. And there's songs out there, they can have 1,000 streams on there. And people think like you as the artist, that you're just so sick of it because you think everybody has heard it. And so the amount of times where artists will come to us and be like, hey, my song is 3 years old. Can I still market that? And we're like, absolutely, you can still market that. Like, there's always going to be more people that have not heard your song for the first time.
That is so good.
We're like, question, how many users are on Spotify?
Right.
Oh, 700 million. Okay. How many of them have you reached with your song so far? Okay, like 100, 200? Okay, your song is brand new. Nobody's heard it yet.
Amen. That's so good.
Even a great example too is like we are doing an Anthem worship album right now with an artist named Eleni. She's awesome. Shout out to Eleni. She's great. She's in the network. We're doing a lot of stuff with her and like sharing exactly what we're doing. That's another cool thing of the network is like all the stuff we're doing with our label and artists and marketing. We've decided to start showing live examples of a peek behind the curtain. Like no other label is going to let you in on their meetings and like share their strategies they're working on right now. We will. But one of the things that we were talking about a few months ago was like, we spent all of last year creating an 18-song album with her and the producer. And I spent a lot of time on the executive production of that with her. And by the time it got to the end, her and I were so spent. I don't know how many times we have listened to every one of those songs with a fine-tooth comb and like subtle changes. And by the time it's done, we're just like, it's all right. It's all right. Like, it's an all right project. Like, we're numb to it. But then we start sharing some of the snippets to the Anthem Network, some other artists, and they're like, guys, this is so good. And I'm like, I go listen through with fresh ears again. I'm like, this is really good. Man, we should market this thing really hard. It's like, you have to remind yourself, it's like, I do not equal everybody.
Yes. That's so good. So as we wrap up today, what is the takeaway that you have for them? Or how can they get in touch with you or learn more about your community or what you teach?
Yeah, if you just go to our social media, the Anthem Co, we're on everything, Instagram, TikTok, YouTube. We post a lot of our clips from the Anthem Network in there, and we're always posting content there. And if you go to any of those social medias, you will find links easily to the Anthem Network. If you are an artist or a manager, it's really anybody who's in the music industry. We're always connecting people. We just love doing that. So
website, theanthemco.com, it has everything on it. I think the deeper message here is you don't have to do this alone. A music journey done alone and it from a state of being just very lonely, your odds of succeeding and making it through, and just even if you do, just enjoying it and actually having a fun time in the process, very low. And to kind of tie a bow on what you said earlier about this analogy of being the farmer and planting the seeds and everything. Do you know what's so much easier than the farmer having to go figure this thing out and like make all the mistakes and like plants are dying and spending years hungry and figuring this thing out. Just go down to the farmer down the street who has already succeeded and is happy and willing to show you exactly what you need to do.
Yes.
Why not just do that? Our big cheat code, our hack to life recently has been we join other people's communities, we get mentors, people specifically that are further ahead than us who have done the stuff, accomplished what we want to, and they're willing to show it to us. And sometimes it's a paid service, sometimes it's a mentorship. Like our mentor has worked with us so long now, we've hired him to run the accounting for our company. And like, it leads to all this stuff. But the biggest thing is, man, the music journey, it is doable. It is achievable. Your music dreams are achievable. But if you're going to take the same path that we just took and make all the mistakes for 6 years and probably longer, because there's two of us, like there's points I wanted to quit, but I wouldn't quit because Joey was here, and maybe vice versa. It's like, well, he's not going to quit because he knows I'm not going to quit. And it's like, we kept ourselves going through that. Man, community is, I'm telling you, it is becoming the answer to all of this. And especially as AI starts to take over more and become more prevalent in the world, everybody is going to be just wanting more community, more relationship, more support.
Yes.
And that is finally what we offer, because for years we were only offering marketing support. And then we were doing our record label and getting great results and like, but we're looking at other artists and we're seeing like there is so many other things you need help with. And if nothing else, even just support and clarity and new perspective and relationship and community and knowing that you are in the right place. And sometimes you just need somebody else to see it in you and would remind you of it when you can't see it. So I would encourage your listeners to really sit with that of like, am I doing this journey too lonely? Yeah. Is there a way that I need to start giving myself more support and people around me that I can learn from that are trying to show us exactly what to do? So that is what the network is, the Anthem Network is in a nutshell. Mm-hmm. And if that resonates with any of you, I would encourage you to check it out. We keep it very affordable, and we're basically putting in anything and everything that we're learning and doing right now in our careers. We're putting it in there. It's like,
awesome.
You will win because there is something in there for you, and we'll help you figure it out.
Yes. And that'll all be linked in the show notes that we have. And so, yeah, if you want to connect with Jason or Joey from the Anthem Co., seek them out on Instagram and all the social media platforms. But thank you guys so much for spending the time with me this afternoon to just encourage people and call people's voice up and higher so that they can radiate authority and God's glory in the earth. So
we really appreciate the invite.
Thanks for having us. This was awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, Radiant Leader, to dive deeper into our resources and connect with a powerhouse circle of like-minded leaders, come join our free community right now over at authenticvoiceleadership.com. I will meet you right back here next Tuesday. Your voice matters. Lead wild, lead free. Stay radiant, my friend.